Welcome to Conscious Crypto, where we are watching a live breakdown of Bitcoin falling. Definitely not seeing any key levels of interest or any long signals being generated. So, this is a steady, controlled sell off that I don't expect to rest around 74, 75,000, 73 even. This is clearly the level of interest that makes most sense. You can see here, I can teach you how to look at these levels, but let's get rid of some things to make it a little cleaner look at this chart for you. So I didn't even pull this back. I had this here. So I'm going based on this. I'm looking for levels where things react. Obviously a test and then a strong push into a consolidation, and then the strength out of it tells me key level. But this is the confirmation, the retest here, strong vector activity, counter signal going the other direction, again a retest, and then even one more retest. Now, yeah, like this was an interesting area as well, but to me this was just all this distribution. Once that broke, yeah, we have to see further downside. This is the range that I'm targeting with these. So very low, very, good entry. Makes it very easy to let this run. I think I've been in this, so May 14th. So yeah, so only 4 days here. I believe this was a Wednesday. It was an easy turning point for me. Saw this extreme volatility to the upside into a key area. You go look at my prior videos if you want to understand why I got into these positions. But again, yeah, just not super interesting to me. Nothing really happening. The reason I jumped on here to make a video was, I expect to retest into 75 to 74 range before seeing any type of bounce. And if you see that on the Fibonacci level here, off this just more recent move, that's the 0.5. So that's a 50% retracement at minimum. But again, the more interesting level is a confluence of Fibonacci and volume profile visible range in this area be the first one. So a lot of volume down here that can be seen when you take a volume map of this entire thing. Get you on a freshie just so we can, this is where I'm at. Look through. So you'll see here, this is the first point of significant volume that jumps up. That is of interest because of the confluence with the two fibs. The first fib being here. So it's where it can get confusing even for me. So I'm just drawing that from the bottom to the top, the very bottom. That's the 60K mark. And then I'm going to go from the more recent low there to the same point, the same high. And you'll see a little bit of a confluence there between the 0.5 and the 0.6. It's a little trick that I use on the macro level to really key in on areas. Add that with the volume that was in this range, and that's where I'm really expecting Bitcoin to tell me, what's up. But again, bear market, if we follow all of the 4-year cycles and the bear market patterns, this 60K level will be breached for much lower levels. How fast will we get there? Who knows? We have all the way till October before we need to set any type of bear market bottom. So we got several months. But this would be the other range. Obviously, the biggest volume was here at this point. I've actually seen the kind of interest I liked box that off. But again, you get another Fibonacci from the main $60,000 low. 0.618, that golden pocket, plus the volume, plus what I, again, draw these boxes based off of, which is very, very key places where accumulation and distribution are happening. And you can see how they're, when they break through, they're retested and they really break down. But then when they break through again, ideally they're retested. So check this out. Boom. This is where trading gets really hard. You'd be like, oh, cool, now we'll retest. And then you're starting to look for signals in here and it just falls through the floor. Then again, gets right back above. Then it makes the retest. and then the strong move, and then guess what? We're gonna retest, and then the strong move. So when you feel like you've missed out, think again. Levels get retested all the time. In fact, just keep looking. Boom, another beautiful retest. But when you see the strength of these moves come back to areas, then you see this volume come in, these vector candles come in, then crosses as confirmation. Yes, these trades get pretty easy. This is one of my best trades in this little consolidation area. But then coming back again, retesting, consolidating, boom, boom, little W formation. Goodness gracious, off to the races. So, yeah, for me, this is what I want to see. I want to see how $66,000 holds up. That's $10,000 from here, y'all. That's $10,000 from here. Yeah, it's a ways to go. It could take a week or two, but we're at the beginning of the week, and let's take a look at Soul. Very, 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 very interesting. Okay, so we're gonna hide. So, like, let's look at it on a weekly. It's done zilch, zilch. I mean, this was the greatest accomplishment right here. Was woo and then guess what? Faded it right back over. If this breaks below the $83 mark, it's definitely going to reclaim some liquidity in this wick. If not, in my opinion, come back down. It's just, yeah, the 30s, 40s. Be very interesting. Be very interesting, but that's base case there. It's got to exhaust people. It's got to retest the accumulation down here, or at least get close to this area where people are like, no, my sole investment 4 years ago, almost, right? 2022 in there was like, $20. I was so happy about it. I can't believe I bought Soul at $20 and I've just been so rich. And then guess what? It comes back down and you're like, all that money is gone. And that is absolutely devastating. That is what cryptos does. That's why there's crypto fatigue. And I know if you're watching this, you've experienced it, or you're relatively new, late to the game. Guess what? You haven't been jaded yet. So just want to express that. And let's go back in because this is what's most interesting to me. So I'm going on the 4 hour. It's been a lot of just block consolidation, went up, retested this little fake out to the top. I'm not going to lie. That little fake out got half my position, which was some bullshit. I got a little more than half my position. But that was because my entry was a little bit low in here. It doesn't look like much on this scale, but when you're layering in, it's a lot. So here's where it gets interesting. The volume profile range. This has been major accumulation city where we're living. So I'm noticing that Bitcoin broke down technically, but Sol did not. ETH did not. And the vector candle activity here is incredibly interesting. I believe Ethereum is at a macro 0.618. Let's get off of all those other things because we're not looking at RSI, TDI today. Yeah, so the 0.5. And then on this level, though, I'm just going to pull it right up to this more recent move. Yeah, so it's hanging out right around the 0.618, but obviously tapped 0.7, whatever that is. Used to have more on my Fibonacci, but honestly, the only levels I really, really care about is here and here. Obviously, in a strong uptrend, a lot of people like to see the 0.328 tested. I'm not even sure I had this, but I even had a 0.886. This is just unnecessary. It's too many levels to look at, to care about. So I think that Solana is the most interesting to me right now, just given this volume profile range. I just, maybe we get a bounce, then a rollover. But yeah, if Bitcoin was gonna set a super cycle, like it's got to test. It's got to test. At least it's 0.328 down here. Get into this area, maybe the 0.5, and then it needs to really rage on. But Personally, it's been an exhausting uptrend within a bear market. So my steady, sane mind is chilling on some swing trades short. Sorry that I'm speaking like this. Didn't get great sleep, but hopefully it's actually kind of calming and relaxing. Leaving it be. Adios. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz. Blizza.